What's going on, guys? Ironcane here, back for another Dragon Ball Legends video, and today was quite the day, huh? Today was quite the day. I kind of just wanted to talk to you guys, and I mean it. I'm just gonna talk to y'all. There's not gonna be any rants. There's not gonna be any rage. There's gonna be any rage baiting. I am live on Twitch.tv, and I swear I will not get rage baited. I will take deep breaths. I will remain calm. And I just want to talk to you guys. I generally just want to talk to you guys because to me, this seems like the most controversial portion, or maybe polarizing portion of an anniversary that I've ever been a part of in the Dragon Ball Legends community, right? There's a lot of discussion about the characters, a lot of discussion about the saga that was picked, a lot of discussion about the land battles, and a lot of it is very toxic, dude. Twitter is like a hellspace, and it's very unfortunate because right now what it's kind of boiled down to is people are being critical, myself included, of them picking Saiyan Saga for the anniversary. This is not to crap on Saiyan Saga. This is not to belittle Saiyan Saga. This is not even to say that like Saiyan Saga, you know, isn't like worthy of being like, you know, appreciated in some regard. Now, I will say, I'm pretty sure I've said that Saiyan Saga isn't worthy for anniversary. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? Why do I say that? The reason why I say that is because it doesn't bring in the dollar bills, bro. It doesn't bring in the dollar bills. The reason why people, you know, say Fusions is a good pick, Super Saiyans, or anything like hype or crazy stuff is because it brings in the money. You know, little Timmy, Tommy, Jeremiah, you know, Greg, Philip, when they come home from school or work or whatever, and they play this game once every, you know, couple weeks, if they see Tien and Chaozu and Cyberman and Nappa, do you really think they're going to break out that credit card and summon? Like, that's my point, right? Like Goku the One, thank you for the sub, dude. That's pretty much the argument there, right? That's not to say that Saiyan Saga isn't cool, that it's not exciting. It's just, in terms of monetary value, which is the whole purpose of a gacha game, because it's free to play with the incentivization, is that a word? To incentivize you to summon, to spend your hard-earned cash to summon on these characters, right? Now, if you're deep into the Legends, you know, grind, like, I'm summoning for everything, right? I'm deep in this shit at this point. I'm summoning if it's, you know, Ribrianne I'm summoning for, you know what I mean? So like me, they already got me, but for the average player, are they going to be like, you know, a lot of people, they might skip this, dude, because keep in mind, regardless of just like how you feel about the picks or not, is this really even going to fit most people's teams? Like, besides, you know, Vegeta, Goku, and Nappa, like Tien and Chaozu, that's a very niche pick just from a team aspect. Just from a pure team aspect. Now they're doing Succession again, that's cool. And Nappa's very interesting because he has multiple lives and whatnot. But I kind of just wanted to go through the comments to my live stream because they were like very, very nasty. And I want you guys to be completely honest with me. I asked my Twitch chat, they said I was pretty hard, or I was like a little hard on this part. But I feel like for me personally, for me, and if you've been watching me for a long time, you know how crazy I get when I don't like something, bro. I feel like for part 2 of the 7th anniversary of Dragon Ball Legends, I feel like I was fairly tame. I really do. I'm not gonna say I wasn't talking shit. I'm not gonna tell you that I didn't say I wasn't unhappy, you know, with Saiyan Saga, this and this and that. I'm not trying to like walk it back and be like, oh, it's cool now, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, dude, I was upset, and I'm still kind of like, you know, at this point, it is what it is. You know, I'll play it. I'll try them out. They'll probably be fun. But, you know, let's just kind of discuss and look at the reception of the comments and whatnot. All right, so at this point, I just want to pull up the live stream and kind of just gauge what you guys were saying. Also, I just want to say this right now. A lot of you guys showed up to this anniversary live stream. I didn't even realize how many people did it. I think we had somewhere near around 3,000 viewers. We almost have 1,000 likes, 22,000 views on the live stream. So from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you agree with me or not, or you didn't like what I had to say. I do appreciate you guys pulling up, you know, regardless. So, all right, let's see what this guy's talking about here. Let me turn off the music really quick. This might be what I think it is. Is that the same sound effect from Super Saiyan 4? Okay, so I'm going to talk about this really briefly, bro. Basically, somebody clipped this, and I'll be honest with y'all. I don't know the Kaioken sound. I don't know. I didn't recognize the Kaioken sound, bro. In my defense, yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, dude, I just... I know. What do you want me to say, dude? I'm really... Dude, I genuinely... A lot of the, like, breakers, I don't think it was in that game. I don't know if it was in Xenoverse 2. Fighters, I don't remember hearing it in that game. Apparently it's in Legends. I don't remember it in Legends. But listen, listen, guys. I have never, ever come here dick swinging saying I am a Dragon Ball encyclopedia. I've never said I am a super fan. I don't have fucking Goku's ass cheeks tatted on my arm. I fuck with Dragon Ball. But if I had to be real with you, my favorite, like, you know, entertainment things is, like, I would say Sonic. I'm a diehard Sonic fan. And my favorite anime is low-key Naruto. I don't hate Dragon Ball. I like Dragon Ball a lot. I mean, dude, I have a Dragon Ball dedicated channel, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend you guys that, like, I'm a Dragon Ball aficionado, right? Like, Slay literally memes on me that I called Andy Laws one of Bobby's minions during, like, the reveals, right? I say goofy shit like that sometimes. And, again, it's because I haven't heard the Kaioken sound effect in, like, years. I couldn't tell you the last time I heard the sound effect in the past 10 years. So the last time I heard it was for Goku, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So that was the correlation there. That was the correlation. You heard it in Breakers with the Rush, brother. I don't remember hearing it in that, man. I generally don't remember hearing that sound in Breakers either. Maybe I'll put the chat on while we talk. I don't know if it's still legible or not. Okay, let's look at some of these comments. Nano acting like he wasn't as heated as Iron was. Yeah, you can't read that at all. What am I kidding? Basically, at the end of this stream, we hopped in a call. It was me, Sauce, Slay, and Nano. And me, Sauce, and Slay were very disappointed by the reveals. Nano was pretty positive about it. He seemed pretty satisfied, and he was happy with things. I mean, it's, you know, a new Vegeta. I imagine that probably had some part to do with it as well. But me, Slay, and Sauce were pretty, like, shocked that Nano was so, I guess, accepting of, like, what it was. I'll get into a little bit as well, but also what I want to talk about, maybe I'll find, like, where they show the ground battles and whatnot. But the ground battles, so the whole thing with the ground battles is, to my understanding, there isn't any, like, unique mechanic tailored specific to ground battles. And correct me if I'm wrong by this. Besides smacking the enemy up back into the air. And I could absolutely be wrong by that. But the overcharge or the overdrive mechanic, don't forget to use the code on the web store, is not unique to land battles. You can also use that in the air. So if the new mechanic that they're introducing isn't even unique to the new area that they're introducing, then, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were a little sneaky with that. Because I was under the impression that, let me see if I can find it really quick while we're here. Yeah, overcharge. These zoomers want to fight on the fucking ground. I'm a boomer, bro. I've been playing on the air for 7 years. Let's get back. I will say, and I'll stand on business. I was always kind of against ground battles because I'm like, bro, it's literally just gonna be the same stuff but just on the ground. And like, again, you could call this hating, but, like, is it that much different? Again, besides the fundamental action of smacking your opponent back up and smacking them back down, is it truly, mechanically, functionally that much different than just the regular battles that we've had for the past 7 years? Now, I will say it is going to be refreshing doing so, But that's why I wasn't super jazzed about the idea in the first place. Okay? That's why I wasn't super jazzed about the idea. And the fact that what I was worried about ended up coming to fruition, you know, I was critical of that. I was critical of that. And now a lot of people are saying, oh, why didn't they have them run on the ground? You know, not to shill for Bandai, but I will actually come to their defense here. Having them animate, run, walk cycles for like, I don't know, 200 plus characters, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy, and I feel like that is a little insane to expect them to do. That is very insane to expect them to do. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. But let's go ahead and look at this overdrive mechanic here. So while you're in overdrive, you basically charge up to it. And I believe as you take damage, you can get into it as well. You basically get super armor to your ki, so you can't be tap attacked. Yeah, so I was critical of this because I hate MUI. I hate every variant of MUI. I hate the gauge. I hate passive play, right? The way I'm looking at this gauge from a meta perspective, now, gameplay-wise, I feel like a lot of people came at my ass. They're saying, oh, he wanted a new gameplay mechanic. Now he's crying. Guys, again, from a casual gameplay perspective, it is going to be refreshing to have this mechanic. Looking at the meta, you are going to be immune to all forms of tap attacks. Immune to the tap attacks, right? I don't know if this depletes the gauge faster. I have no idea how it works. But you are going to be immune to that. Meaning that the only way that you have of initiating is just like strike canceling or blast canceling, which can be easily PV'd. So it's going to create passive, you know, encounters. But to be fair, this is going to be very difficult to initiate because you need to like do a full charge from max ki. But apparently you can take damage to like get it revved up, and then maybe you need to just charge a little bit. I'm not entirely sure how it works. That's what people were telling me. I don't know, but if it is that difficult to get into, then maybe it is truly just a skill issue letting your opponent get into the overdrive state, right? But again, I hope you understand, coming from someone that regularly gets God ranks, why I'm critical of this, because of the playstyle I already dislike. This is complementing that playstyle. All right. Now you could argue this is a personal thing. Maybe this is subjective. Maybe people like going against passive players. I feel like if you ask most people, they would disagree with that. But hey, maybe that's just on me. Again, we're just talking here, guys. There's no ranting. There's no yelling. There's no rage. This is a conversation. This is a new era, guys. This is a new era of the Ironcane channel, dude. We're here to converse, okay? We're here to converse as adults. Guys, right now, literally in real time, I have Nova_AVFC saying 100% I'm overreacting. If I'm overreacting, let me know in the comments below. I think I'm being completely calm. But anyways, let's get into these comments, dude. Let's get into these comments. Because I want to address some things. These new mechanics are going to kill PvP. That I might have said something similar. That might be a little hyperbolic. I think it didn't look good from what I saw. But it could be good. I think change is good, but is this a good change? Bars. But like, basically my point is we have to see, right? And this guy was basically saying what I was saying, that it's going to be end up passive. Oh boy, I sure can't wait to wait for Iron's 80 millionth rant about this anniversary. I'm not ranting. Hey, look at me, guys. I'm not ranting. We're just having a conversation. Let me know in the comments below how you feel. Leave a like potentially. Listen, I'm not red. I'm normal, you know, complexion. I'm just talking. We're conversing, guys. We're conversing. This isn't even Ironcane. This is James right now, bro. This is James for real. I'm chilling, dude. I'm chilling. Let's keep going, bro. Let's keep going. Okay, yeah, that was the Kaioken bit. Let's see what Mr. Person was linking here.
It's just like I just learned to just play around whatever the new mechanics are.
I think it was probably wrong to just start off with the allegations they were throwing against you. We usually do convene,
and you guys were on my ass, bro.
Let's actually check that. Let's check that. Let's check that.
going on?
Yo, Nano, nah, let's. Nano's our friend,
What?
guys. We gotta call it like it is, bro.
Nano, you did not
How
just
do you feel,
go
bro?
what, bro?
People are angry. You're facing dick riding allegations, bro. Talk to me. How do you feel, bro?
Wait, I'm facing dick riding allegations?
Someone came here and told me you were a robot. On God, that was his whole message, and then he left.
I also had one saying that you were dick riding.
Damn, because I like Saiyan Saga. What are we talking about?
Okay, okay, and in our defense, that is the Twitter argument. That is the Twitter argument. Again, if it all begins at the crux of the argument of that, it's not that I dislike Saiyan Saga. It's not that Sauce dislikes Saiyan Saga. It's not that Slaybix dislikes Saiyan Saga. It's just that specifically in the context of the 7th anniversary that they hyped up with a new RAM update and all these other things, it's just not going to sell, man. It's just not going to sell and grab the general audience. Now, there'll be people probably in this video as well, and you're welcome to disagree. And I don't know, if you think there is, and maybe we're all wrong, please let us know. But there is a reason why there's only certain, like, there's only a couple TNs in the game, right? There's a reason why there's only so many Krillins. There's only so many Yamchas. Only so many Taos, right? Like, the Saiyans are the bread and butters, and it's typically Super Saiyan Plus or Super Saiyan After, and the Fusion specifically that really rake in the cash. And that's what these gacha games are for, to incentivize you to summon, to incentivize you to use your own money to play the game and get the characters, right? Now, some people might be enticed by Saiyan Saga, but if you're going to sit there with a straight face and tell me and, you know, whoever that, you know, people are just as excited for Saiyan Saga as they would be a Fusion, the general audience, now that's the general audience, that's a tough sell, man. I think that's a tough sell, but if you disagree, please let me know in the comments below. But that is the root of the argument. It's not that people are upset that they're representing Saiyan Saga. It's just specifically for the anniversary and the 7th anniversary especially. I even made a point here to say that if they did the Saiyan Saga campaign, this exact campaign, right after the anniversary, this would have felt great. This would have felt great. It would have felt finely paced, because in terms of the totem pole of hype, it is less hype than the probable, you know, the Fusion, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, the Beast, whatever they're going to do for part 3. It's going to be insane, right? Saiyan Saga, I would say, would be a natural stepping point after the anniversary. It's still, like, exciting, but not to the levels of hype of, like, you know, a crazy Fusion, a movie moment, you know, what have you, right? That's basically the root of the argument. And what it's turned into is that if you say anything against it, it just means you hate Saiyan Saga. You're not a real Dragon Ball fan. Okay, I don't know, Kyle Ken. You can call me not a real Dragon Ball fan. But in defense of everybody else saying that, right, is like, you know, that is the argument. And that's not what everybody's saying. It's just like, this is cool, but just why for anniversary? That's really it, right? That's really it. All right, let's look at some more of these comments. Saiyan Saga was crazy when I was a kid. Again, massive props to Saiyan Saga. I mean, generally, in terms of Dragon Ball, like, Saiyan Saga to Frieza, it's peak, dude. It's peak. Like, it really doesn't stop in terms of, like, you know, excitement in terms of watching the anime, which, you know, I didn't watch, blah, 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 blah. I get it, man. I get it. Here we have a nice one from Mr. Yoshi -Q6S, or Yohi. Bro's just mad that he got no androids and can't keep up with new mechanics. Mr. 69 God rank fell off. Get over it and enjoy what has brought new life to this game. So, not entirely 100% sure if this is not rage bait. It probably is, honestly. Let me try to unpack this. Yeah, guys. I never really expected androids for the anniversary. My cope, the only way androids would show up in the anniversary is if 17 was tacked on the Golden Frieza, because that, I think, is exciting. And, you know, it seemed like they were leaning into TOP. I thought that was the only way they were going to do androids. I'm never expecting androids for the anniversary, because I would be the first to admit that it's not anniversary worthy in the sense of driving sales and driving interest from the general audience, right? Like, I'm not going to be biased here and tell you that would I love, you know, like an Ultra Gammas, you know, at all? Of course. But would I want that for Anniversary? It doesn't fit. It just, to me, that just really wouldn't fit. That's just my opinion with that, right? So I responded to this guy if I did respond. Also, just going to call it, he's going to make a rant video. It's not a rant video, guys. We're just talking, we're having a conversation, and I'm trying to get thoughts and feelings across the board, dude. That's all this is, man. That's all this is. To be fair, the mechanics are so cool. If anyone think they would kill the game, they were actually elevate the gameplay and quality, make fights less boring. I think it'll make things more interesting from the perspective of it being refreshing. In terms of how it will really shake things up, you know, that's to be seen, right? Maybe he's tired of the meta and Cash grabs a little innovation and talks abilities for Ultra Anniversary. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, you guys, again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I was actually critical of the Goku and the Vegeta, besides the fact that, like, we already have those characters already. Besides that basis, I really didn't get a chance to, like, look at the kits or anything like that, because I was still kind of blown away by the new gameplay mechanics. I was still so focused, so hyper-focused on that I don't even really know what they do. But to my understanding, the Goku is a transforming character, which the very first Kaioken Goku that we have in the game, which probably has the sound effect that I forgot, is transforming, right? And now this guy's transforming with an LF. Does Saiyan Saga Goku deserve an LF? Absolutely. Again, I think it's just the timing that is what's, you know, controversial here, right? And for Vegeta, we technically already have a revival Vegeta, you know, with Nappa, which in my opinion is inherently more interesting because you get two playable characters there. And I think a lot of people, I mean, maybe I'm alone in this, I was expecting Grade 8. With the massive landscape that they were showing off in the land battles, I thought Grade 8 was going to be a shoo-in. I was waiting for him to say Burst Open and Mix, which is from the Saiyan Saga and Dragon Ball Z, which I did watch, by the way. Sorry. So I just gotta take my L with the Kaioken thing, man. It's, what am I gonna do? Anyways, I responded with the fish bait. You don't play the game, bro, lol. Probably a little heated response from me. I apologize. Again, this is James talking right now. We're just having a conversation. Talking about this from the perspective of someone that's put time in. From a pure gameplay perspective, things look interesting and exciting. From a meta perspective, you gotta at least see where I'm coming from a little bit and the issues that could occur. Hopefully, it'll be a healthy addition, but they made additions before, like tackling, that have had to be reworked. Tackling has been reworked. It really wasn't even that hard on this part of the anniversary. I mean, that's subjective. I personally didn't think I was, but, you know, to each their own. Wow, starting off with the end of Dragon Ball Super, then straight back to the beginning of Dragon Ball Z for Part 2. The anniversary couldn't be any more cooked. Again, I think the pacing is just a little out there. 2642, we were so close to getting Legends Limited Cyberman. Again, imagine just like hitting up your friend, being like, "Yo, bro, you know, what banner are you gonna summon for? For the Dragon Ball Legends 7th Anniversary Part 2, are you gonna summon for Saiyan Saga Goku with Tien and Shoutout, or Saiyan Saga Vegeta with Cyberman and Nappa?" You know, even just saying that out loud sounds kind of silly, you know what I mean? At least to me. Maybe I'm kind of like memeing it up a little bit, but I just feel like, again, that sounds kind of crazy to think about. I don't think anybody was expecting this, is my point. I'm just upset because he got his ass handed to him on a silver platter by Saiyan Saga before. Now you can't complain that Saiyan Saga is a real team LMAO. That actually is pretty funny. That actually, I'll even show you guys that clip. Hold on, let me. That clip is pretty. I think I literally just posted it. Yeah, it's funny because in one of the Legends versus Yous, I said this.
Saga team, there is no Saiyan Saga team, Chapo. You live in a fucking fairy tale land. You can't run this shit team. Are you insane? He's running it. We're doing a friendly.
Yeah,
Are you stupid?
I got pretty mad there. Right now I wouldn't get that mad because, again, you know, we're just here to converse and talk about, you know, what's going on and whatnot. So, yeah, man, we're here, you know, having a conversation. Not here to rant and rage, guys. Just here having a conversation. We're just talking about the 7th anniversary. Bro, Shoutout, Rising Rush, special tags combination of super. I did see that they reused the animation for Shallot and Sparking. It's tough. Oh yeah, this guy, dude. I think this guy like actually hates me. But let's see what his comment. Premiere starts and he immediately, I don't think that's a word, complaint then was what the sound effect from Super Saiyan 4. Bro, for real, average TikTok Dragon Ball fan that watched Dragon Ball on TikTok edits. I don't even use TikTok. So I responded. Yeah, I think I just said, why do you watch my comment? You hate me. Let's see what this guy's talking about in this clip specifically. Let's go. Check it out. Saiyan Saga. It's just not well paced. Oh, I mean, I've talked about that multiple times now. Again, I just don't feel like Saiyan Saga is the best choice in terms of like them wanting to make money. What does that even mean, dog? For the 6th anniversary, went from fusing units to fucking God Goku. That don't mean it's asked for 4th. We went from USS to Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist. I mean, guys. I mean, again, you can let me know in the comments below. But what do you think has more aura? Saiyan Saga Goku Vegeta or Dragon Fist Goku? Again, I'm saying this from someone that hasn't even watched the movies, dude. And even I know, bro. Even I know. Like, again, it comes from the perspective of making money and, you know, having the most hype thing to get eyes on the celebration. Not Nano thinking him winning matches. I hearted this one, so this one agreeing with me. Where he rigs the wheels every time, he has the better judgment. I mean, I think Nano was rage baiting. Yeah, Nano was rage baiting with that. They took notes on burst limit. Well, it's cool they put him on sparking. I haven't had him play sparking in months. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, you know, Shoutout's gonna like save sparking or whatever. Sparking's in a tough spot, man. It's in a tough spot. Dog, it's a side banner unit. Oh yeah, I think I literally said that I thought Tien was an LF. People are like, dude, he's a side banner. He's a side banner. The reason why I said that is I actually thought Tien's animations were really impressive. That's why I thought he was an LF, and I thought his like ending animation sounded like unique to like landing like an LF or something. That's why I said that. So again, I think the side banner units are really impressive, and again, I think they actually might be more impressive than the headliners. But again, I didn't really pay attention to the headliners as much as I could have because I was so you know, focused on the gameplay mechanics. My biggest fan says, let's look at live chat. Bro, they spam L on every shit. L, UG4 was revealed. Chat full of L's. You hang out with the troop and he tells you every time how Dragon Ball fans are and you still can't grasp it. I think I really just wanted to see what YouTube chat was saying, man. I was just curious what their thoughts were, and I wasn't super hot on it. They all said L's. It was funny. It's doesn't really get that much more deep than that, man. It doesn't really get that much more deep than that. But there is some truth to the fact that you know, it kind of just the if it isn't, you know, hype thing, LLL. But that literally goes back to my point, right? That literally goes back to my point that if it isn't fusion or like super hype war stuff, they're gonna say L's. But he's saying they said to the fusion. I don't know. I wasn't there for that. I wasn't right. I wasn't there for that. He is right. They were saying L during the 6th ending part 1. I mean, if they were, they were. But I think everybody views that anniversary as a success anyway. I don't know. I don't know. If people don't like part 1 with UI and Vegeta, in a way, this will be much better. But it's better than part... Oh, no. I want to say this right now. This is 100% times better than part 1. 100% times better than part 1. This is way more interesting and brings a lot more to the game than part 1 did. This blows part 1 out of the water. There is some like things to like celebrate. Obviously, new gameplay mechanics, the 3x Z power coming back, you know, succession coming back, multiple lives with Nappa being introduced. There is a lot of things to celebrate here. The amount of hate this guy have on part 2 is crazy. It actually irritates me. Saiyan Saga is perfect start. First presentation for ground battles. I can tell you're far different from Goresh and Ryuden. I mean, I'm not sure how Goresh and Rai reacted to this. I'm pretty sure Goresh was being sarcastic and wasn't like a big fan of Saiyan Saga. And I can't really speak to Rai. I don't know how he reacted. But I'm not Goresh or Ryuden. If you want Goresh or Ryuden's opinion, watch their videos, right? To say it's perfect for the best presentation of ground battles, I do think that is kind of like, you know, eating the slop and smiling, just because that's literally verbatim what they said. I mean, if you 100% agree with that, that's fair. but that does seem like, I feel like that does give a little cuckold energy, because that's literally verbatim what they said. You're kind of just like, you know, restating exactly what they said. But to be fair, that comment aside, I could kind of get that, but let's not pretend there wasn't like other fights on the ground as well. They could have did like Gohan Cell. I mean, they did a Cell recently, so, you know, whatever. There's a lot of other, you know, variations of ground battles that they could do or could have done, right? So I get it, but at the same time, they could have just did ground battles on the World Tournament stage. You know what I mean? They literally were not allowed to fly unless, you know, you were flying by like design, unless you were built to fly, right? I remember that because I did watch Dragon Ball Super. Anyways, but yeah, so like they didn't have to do Saiyan Saga specifically. Say Sarah, thank you for the raid, dude. Thank you for the raid. Again, live on Twitch. That is my Twitch alert there for the raid. Okay, let's get this back up. Arnie should collab with Truth Goresh and Toon again, the Mario Party. Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. I think Toon just didn't want to do Mario Party last time we asked. But the new Vegeta's passive are too mass for him to be a blunder. Because they'd be real broken on your user literally cooked. UMV user at anniversary. This Vegeta has revival, cancels, paralyzed. That's huge. Massive damage buff, key charge at 90%, so his gauge will fill up instantly fast. It becomes neutral and green and cover nulls. I can already imagine the UMV team with this guy. Damn. You know, those are really cool. Gameplay changes are going to kill the game. Ground battles are even more disappointing than I thought they'd be. Legends might not make it to year 10. That is kind of crazy. I don't know about all that. Vegeta animation is kind of ass. I didn't really see the Vegeta animation, so I can't really speak to that. I also want to see the YouTube comments as well, because I think some people had some things to say about that as well. So we're going to look at a couple of these. Is that an LF? On, please take your bets. Again, this is me referring to the TN. I thought the TN's animations were so good that I actually thought they were an LF, but they weren't, right? Peak, I don't care. These are hype moments in the series. One of the most iconic fights in anime history is finally getting love. 100%. Unfortunately, to the Ooga Booga meathead brains and the casual audience, just not going to rake in the cash like, you know, movies, fusions, gods, super will, right? And that's just facts. That's just facts. I don't like. That's not like Ironcane, you know, saying that. That is just unfortunately the reality of the situation, right? That's just what it is. People bitched about Count Khalifa, people bitched about Kaba, and now people bitch about these banner units. Sorry, not every character in the series is a yellow or blue-haired Saiyan. These are unique characters that deserve to be part of a major celebration. Again, you could make that argument, but the issue is that they already started off weak, and them doing Saiyan Saga on top of that is just kind of a recipe for disaster. For the people that aren't really super tapped into Legends, they found part 1 to be a W. But if you're super like tapped into Legends, most people will be disappointed about you know, UI and Vegeta, just because already have those characters in the game and they're transforming and didn't really like change up or spice things up like that. So if you're already down on that, if you already thought like that was ass, you know, I think it would make sense logically why people would be upset about part 2 as well, because it's the same argument. It's the same argument because, again, it's a transforming Kaioken Goku. We already have one. He's not an LF. I get that. He deserves an LF. But still, you can make that same argument. Vegeta, we have, at this point, 3 Saiyan Saga. Actually, we had 4 Saiyan Saga Vegetas, with 2 of them already being LFs, right? Tien and Chaozu, W, Nappa. Technically, we have 3 if you count the Revival Vegeta, but that's a W as well. I think that is a cool mechanic with the multiple lives. So, again, to act as if like people are fake fans or they just hate stuff, they hate the series, you kind of got to see their perspective, man. You got to see the perspective. And again, this is a business, guys. It's a gacha game. It's a gacha game, dude. It's not all sunshines and rainbows. I need to talk about Kaioken. PBL players truly hate Dragon. Again, it's really not, it's just not fair. It's because it's such like a, you know, I'm not a big fan of waffles. Oh, so you must hate breakfast food. That's basically this argument, right? Like, nobody is saying, or, I mean, there might be some people saying they hate Saiyan Saga, But I would say that's not the vast majority, or at least I know that's not my fellow creators. I don't think anybody's here like, I hate Saiyan Saga, I hate Saiyan Saga. Saiyan Saga not being hype is laughable. Guys, if, you know, you put a fusion, you put movies, you put Saiyan Saga, what's going to win out? That's just how it is. Now, everything is subjective, but unfortunately, it's the mass-wide audience. Saiyan Saga just doesn't have that same pull. It just doesn't have that same pull, man. It just unfortunately doesn't. It doesn't. It's not going to bring in the dollars like, you know, movies and fusions will. I don't know why people are still moaning this part 2 seems like light years a part of part 1. That is fair. It is definitely better than part 1. Hope Steel players just wanted cool stuff. It's something we finally got. That would quit moaning just because it wasn't fusion again. I mean, I don't think I was here saying like, dude, I want a fusion. I want a fusion. Rah, rah, rah. I want a fusion. If anything, I wanted Daima. I wanted Daima. I wanted Goma. Again, because that's new. That's a new character. That's a new character that's not in the game. I just wanted new stuff. Now, to be fair, there might be somebody tip-tapping away on their keyboard saying like, oh, well, you want new stuff. They brought ground battles and you're bitching about that. Again, I'm bitching about it from a meta perspective, from a gameplay perspective, from a refreshing, you know, something new perspective. It is a W. I'm just thinking about the meta and what it's like going to be playing. I'm just thinking like, is it going to be fun? That's what I'm thinking about. I'm a little apprehensive about that, but we'll have to wait and see. Aztec, thank you for the sub on Twitch, dude. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for 3 months. I'll skip for the Ultra, but animation for part 2 banners so far ahead of part 1. Like this if you think Iron is a crybaby. I think I literally pointed out this comment, and I think people ran with it because of rage bait related reasons. I mean, you think about crybaby, you think about crybaby. I think I was being fairly reasonable, but it is what it is. I got cooked. Bro was crashing out on Nano and everything except with Ansem causing rifts for real. Nano was rage baiting the crap out of me over that Daima Goku victory and whatnot. Saiyan Saga guy is winning. Yeah, he is winning. Time for part 2 of 24 saving Saga. Yeah. Yeah, talk about Breakers. I was just kidding because, like, in Breakers, it's Cyberman, Nappa, Vegeta, and then Great Ape. I was just joking because, you know, Cyberman is like an extra life for Nappa in Breakers and kind of is in Legends as well. That's why I brought up Breakers. I thought it was funny. Come on, Iron, you sound ungrateful. This is the thing that we all needed. New mechanics in the game, and now we finally got it. You're still upset. What? Again, I was worried. The reason why I was always worried about ground battles is I'm like, is it just going to be normal battles but on the ground? With the fact that the overdrive mechanic is not unique to ground battles, means what I was kind of fearing, unfortunately, was true to a certain degree. That's why I was kind of upset about that. But it definitely will be refreshing smacking people up and down. I think it will create some cool moments. And there's a mechanic where, like, I think if you attack on the ground with overdrive, you smack people through terrain. And that's essentially like an LF without being an LF. That is cool. That is cool. I will definitely give that props. That is cool. There's also like unique interactions as well. I'm not sure how inventive they're going to be with that, how often they're going to be doing that. That's also a W. There are W's here, but I think more people were expecting like walking on the ground. It's kind of just floating above the ground. You're just at a different part of the map, right? That's pretty much what it is. IMO, the overcharge did not need to nullify all tap attacks. I agree. For how crazy overcharge mode, it needs to be a little drawback difficulty to achieve, so it has a little decision making to it. After you get over the disappointment, it's really cool. I mean, listen, at this point, I'm waiting till I see it. I still stand 10 toes that Saiyan Saga is a bad pick. But in terms of the gameplay mechanics, waiting till I see it. Rising Rush Legends, what do you say? I think sorry, what do you say? Okay. Sorry, babe, I postponed the wedding for the 6th anniversary. The Saiyan Saga team doesn't exist. Man, without the money, okay. Think about everything you want about part 2. You're all good, bud. Ignore the assholes in chat. Wow, what a homie, dude. Ultra DBS, bro, please say the 7 Annie. Like, you're the only guys that didn't really like the ground battles, and I can definitely understand. Overcharging stops you from doing dash and tap attacks, and overdrive gives you infinite key. No, overdrive takes a while to charge, but how does that change anything? Also, they should remove the dumb overcharge things so you can tap attacks at least. Since the game so dub. There's a lot of comments here. This guy said, so you like Saint Saga, yet it's not good enough to be worthy of being part 2. Yeah, sure. Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, guys, I do actually got to get going. I do appreciate all the comments. Unfortunately, not going to get to all of them. But I kind of just want to talk about the second part of the anniversary before it dropped, just because I felt like, you know, there was so much division regarding it and whatnot. I think, you know, this is the most I've seen the Legends, like, community at each other's necks. And I feel like people just need to understand the other side. I understand the side of people want to say, like, this is cool. I like Saiyan Saga. I'm glad it's here for anniversary. That's fair, and 100% that, like, that's awesome. The views, typically, for this type of stuff just don't really come for, you know, these lesser hype, you know, sagas or celebrations or whatnot. And in terms of making money, it's just not going to make the money like that. That's basically the root of the argument, right? And that's just unfortunately the reality of the situation. It would be great if, like, every celebration or every saga received the same love that Fusions did, but at the end of the day, Fusions and movies and, like, the really hype or moments just pull in more than most things do. With that being said, y'all, that's gonna be the video. I really do appreciate the support you guys did overall on the live streams and just the channel in general. The fact that we're so close to 50K in such a short amount of time since we hit 20K in November. I really do appreciate it. And at the end of the day, guys, you know, rage baiting aside and whatnot, I think it is good to have, like, genuine conversations like this where I'm not just, like, ranting and raving, getting red in the face all the time. Like, you know, it's funny and stuff. But I think it is cool to kind of just, like, talk things out, because it did really get disgusting on Twitter, man. People are, like, coming at each other's throats. You know, it is what it is. I think overall part 2 is a W, and hopefully they make part 3 a W as well, and then we'll look back on this anniversary with, you know, maybe a better perspective. But that being said, y'all, that's gonna be the video. Leave a like if you enjoy. Comment down below your thoughts of, you know, some of the points I made, whether you agree, whether you disagree. Again, I think overall part 2 is a net positive from the things they're doing, like the Z power, the new gameplay mechanics. I think overall it is a W. Again, it's just looking at it monetarily, it's just, that's where things get a little tricky. But yeah, y'all, that's gonna be it. Take care, stay safe, have fun, subscribe, peace out.